hipsters, flipsters, and finger-popping daddies. Welcome back to the Jazz Ranch. It's 2019. And you know, on the first day of New Year's, we always have a great New Year's Day party. We invite all our friends and our musician friends. We have a big jam session, lasts about 8 hours. We have great food, drinks, and conviviality, and it's a great bang to start off the new year. We love that. And so I have a quote for you from G.K. Chesterton, and he said this: "The object of a new year is not that we should have a new year. It is that we should have a new soul and a new nose, new feet, new backbone, new ears, and new eyes." In other words, we should see life as a child again, as being reborn. I love that. Now here's one from John Coltrane, and it is this. He said, "To be a musician is really something. It goes very, very deep. My music is the spiritual expression of what I am, my faith, my knowledge, my being. When you begin to see the possibilities of music, you desire to do something really good for people, to help humanity free itself from its hang-ups." So now I have something for you. This was something that I wanted to practice for a possible gig coming up. John Coltrane's Giant Steps. I want to show you my practice routine for this, and hopefully it will help you to practice a very challenging song called Giant Steps. Here we go. Starting out, I just want to say why I put this video up and posted it is because I have a gig coming up in which this tune might be called Giant Steps by John Coltrane. It's kind of one of the definitive songs in the contemporary repertoire, even though it was written back in the 60s, I guess, or 50s even. But it's still a challenging song which jazz musicians learn, and you want to learn this. And it's a very fascinating tune in terms of its structure and harmonic, explorations, the way what he's doing here with the harmony and the chord progression. Now it's just 16 measures, which is fairly simple, but within that you're in 3 tonal centers. Now there's no key signature, but the first tonal center you're in, actually you start on B and it goes then into G, and then it goes immediately into E flat. So those are the 3 tonal centers, and you hear them in the first 3 bars. You know, you hear the B major tonal center, you hear the G major tonal center, and then you hear the E flat. So what is that? That's an augmented chord, right? If you take those 3 tonal centers, E flat, G, and B flat is an augmented chord. So what happens is the melody goes like down a major 7th, like this, like a G major 7th, and then goes to there. But within that simple melody based on a G major 7, you have these chord structure: B, then D7, and then G major, and then B flat dominant 7 13 to E flat major 6 9. You see, so you have that fascinating chord structure in which it goes up a minor 3rd, down a 5th, up a minor 3rd, down a fifth. You see, so there's a pattern. Those are giant steps, like now here's an interesting thing within that. You see it's going B to D to G to B flat to E flat. So actually what's happening there, it's going to B, and within that is the concept that goes down a whole step to the 2, 5, 1, down to there, and then down a whole step, 2, 5, 1, and then to there, you see. So there's something within that is more symmetrical. But then he from that, ending up on B flat, then he goes up a flatted fifth and a 2, 5, flatted fifth, like 1, 2, flat 5, 2, 5, A minor 7, D 7, then repeats the same pattern in G, starting on G. G major, up a minor third, down a fifth, up a minor third, and then down a fifth, ending up on B. So he ends up on the same chord that he started with, you know, and it's the same kind of pattern of that major 7 interval. See, this is the same. And then same pattern, but down a major third. You see, same melody, but down a major third. Then just 2 5s after that. 2, 5 into E flat, up a flatted fifth. 2, 5 into G. 2, 5 into B. And then 2, 5 into E flat. So you see, you have substantiated those 3 tonal centers: B major, G major, and E flat major. So you want to practice those 3 scales, and particularly the B scale, because that's the hard one. You know, G scale is fairly easy to play, E flat is a little bit more difficult, but B is more difficult. So you want to get very proficient with practicing those major scales. Again, G, E flat, and B. So you want to be able to maneuver around in those scales very quickly, because these chord changes go by split seconds, just, you know. So what you do is you start very slowly playing through the progression and simple ideas, and we're going to start with that next. Now, one of the reasons that this tune is difficult is because the melodic, or the harmonic shifts are unusual. In other words, you expect the tune to be like 2, 5, 1 into G and 2, 5, 1 into E flat. Well, that's fine, but we're not getting the 2, 5. We're getting a B major going to the 5 of G, and then up to the 5 of E flat. You know, so like those chords and scales are what I just told you. In other words, a B scale, quickly moving into a G scale, and then quickly moving into an E flat scale. So you have to be able to shift very quickly. Then it repeats again. G scale, moving very quickly in E flat scale, and then very quickly back into the B scale. But if you learn those 3 scales, then you should be able to do simple things to start. Like, first of all, what I would do is to start, I would just play the chords and maybe like 1 note per beat, like something like this maybe. See, so that's the B chord. Here's a different one. D chord, the G chord, B flat chord. You see, get the target tones within each chord. Like, you know, maybe something now like the more interesting might be something like this. See, that has more a melodic sense, or maybe something like this. See, so like now maybe make it 4 notes. In other words, 8th notes, like this. You know, so I'm not even playing in tempo, but I'm just getting used to playing on those chords and the notes that are target tones within those chords. Now let's try something where we do passing tones, maybe something like this. There's the first three measures, you see, so I'm playing now more like scale passages. Now let's just play, let's think of ascending scales like this. This is really the way you have to prepare for this song, is to play things like this. Now let's do descending scales like this. Or maybe, let's try this. You see? So now, let's try something that is more pentatonic. You know, like these kind of intervals, shorter intervals, like. See, if you're a guitarist or a pianist or a saxophone player, it's a good idea to try to play the chord in the left hand and then hear how it fits what you're doing in your right hand. So like B, D7, G major, B flat, E flat. And that's pretty cool sounding if you do it like this. And then you see how I'm doing that now? So let's continue. Okay, I've set the metronome on 150, which is the tempo about what I started on, and that's I'm talking about 2 and 4 now. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you can begin to try some of those ideas you've worked out of tempo and slowly. Maybe like the scale ones like this. Let's get it on the 2 and 4. 1, 3, 4. That's the first one to practice. 2, 3, 4. You see? Now, important point. It's great to practice sort of rudimentary ideas like the scale thing, but if you play that in your solo, then it's going to sound like, well, you worked this out. So you don't want it to be so predictable, but you want to be able to have that kind of technique. You want to be able to maneuver in that way, like that, you know, or back. Let's take it backwards, like, you know, you want to be able to maneuver through that. You know, now it could be inverted. It doesn't have to be starting on the 5 every time. This is a tune that is not easy to play in a melodic sense. So forget about that. Throw that out. And just on the 2-5-1s, you can do that. But on this first 8 measures, you really have to kind of try to play a melody that fits over those chords or is on the outside but somehow hits certain right notes at the right time. So you might go, see, there's a melody. You see, so I'm like playing an idea, a rhythmic idea that has a melody structure to it, but it somehow fits within that chord structure because I'm shifting into the right scale. So that's an important point. Okay, so here's an important exercise that I've used for a long time, and that is to play straight eighth notes through a chord progression like this. And you can play them very straight to start and try to get them even and get them to be the right notes like this. Speed it up. Speed it up. Speed it up. Speed it up. You get the idea now. Eventually swing it like. See, that's not easy to do. That if you can do that and do it really accurately, then you have made a quantum leap, you know. But it's such a great exercise because you really can play it very slowly like this. Just very straight eighths, not swing eighths. We can play straight eighths, but what happens is you get them very even and you get the right connecting tones. In other words, you're really playing target tones and passing tones. I mean, you know, this is the target tone, passing tone, target tone, passing tone, target tone, passing tone, target tone, passing tone. I'm going to chromatic there. Target tone, passing tone, target tone, passing tone, target tone, passing tone, target tone, passing tone, target. In other words, you have to hit those target tones at the right place. So, like, you know, otherwise it's going to sound ridiculous. You see, particularly on the beat one, you have to hit a target tone. So if I did this, see, I hit that. That's not a target tone for the next chord. I can do that, but I can do that. You know, it's more out. You actually may prefer that, but you know, before you do the out stuff, do the things that are in, like you might do that. Be monk or whatever, you know. Well, that's fine, you know. Once you know the right steps or the correct notes that are target tones, then you can change them. After you've learned the fundamentals, after you've mastered the fundamentals, then you can break all the rules, which is certainly allowed in jazz music. You know, I'm really talking about traditional playing, and outplaying is something you want to do, you know, as you get more advanced. Signing off from the Jazz Ranch. Thanks so much for watching, and I want to thank you for all the support you've given me this past year. I appreciate all the people that wrote to me, the comments, and the emails, and people who bought my book. Thank you so much. I hope you have the best year yet. And until next time, I'll say in the words of my great friend Hermie Dressel, swing loose, and we'll see you next time around. Bye-bye.